Today here with me is Dez, Zapper,
Yep.
and me.
Our
I'm
host, Mr. TV.
yeah, Mr. TVT man. Also sorry, Dez, I refer to you by your D&D character name again.
It's okay, I could care less.
Also, I just realized, sorry, you forgot to show the stream so you can do the wheelie spin thing.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to have the wheelie spin thing. Wheelie spin thing. Shit, that actually brought it up.
It's okay, it's irrelevant anyway.
So today we're trying something new where we're actually going to have themes for the episode. And today's theme is spoilers. So, spoiler warning, I guess. I need to make a thing
Spoiler,
that says spoiler warning.
spoilers for discussion of spoilers.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, River Song, for that.
All right, click to spin. It's going around and around. Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna lose their head to me? It's Zapper.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, I thought you also didn't stream it, so we could watch. Okay.
Fuck!
Um,
I knew I was forgetting something.
it's fine. All right. Although do stream so we can see the time and stuff. Thank you.
Let me pull up the timer too.
Please and thank you.
20 minutes, correct?
Yeah, presumably.
Alright, so you're on.
Oh, all right. So just something that I was pondering, the nature of spoilers and operationally defined, what is a spoiler? But unwanted information about the ending of something, arguably, right? Can
Correct.
we agree can we, yeah, do you agree that's a reasonable definition, or do you have a different one?
I would say in wanted knowledge of just like anything like
Yep.
about say a movie or a book in general.
Ooh,
I would not say that it specifically has to be the ending.
fair enough.
Come up with a better definition. Well, not a better one, but a more succinct one.
As we
In,
go,
in
yeah, probably.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
All right. So
post slash as we go.
I was
Sorry,
debating
go.
this with friends for a while, and here's something that I thought might be fun to discuss. With the knowledge that that's spoiler, a few questions that might be worth debating. Is there a time limit on spoilers? Like, for example, the movie Citizen Kane from the freaking 1940s has a serious plot twist at the end. However, that's from the 1940s at this point. It's almost like 80, like 80 plus years ago. Would saying what that plot twist is be a spoiler?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say yes, because some people just don't know that and probably want to experience it themselves. So, like, saying that to somebody is just kind of a dick move, in my opinion.
That's a
Like,
fair point.
I used to know this guy who could eat like 8 cans of cream corn in under a minute, and he has never even heard of Star Wars. And when my friend group showed it to him, we were going in the original release date things,
Hmm.
and it's like when we got to the movie where Darth Vader is, spoiler alert, Darth Vader is Luke's father. Everybody was talking about it, and it's like, damn, this probably would have been way better for him if he just like,
Not known.
yeah,
Yeah.
not known it himself. And like, damn, that would have been fucking amazing for him. And instead we spoiled it. And I still think about that guy, the cream corn guy.
It would cream corn like that much cream corn in a minute. Des, what do you think on this one, on this subject? Is there
Um
a time limit to spoilers?
for me it really just depends on the intensity and importance of the spoiler.
Okay, so like for example, I guess I'll use Frankenstein as an example.
Frankenstein.
No, we're not. Yeah, that's a young Frankenstein. That I've actually never seen that movie. I know it's good though. Gene Wilder was good in that one.
No,
Yeah.
neither have I.
Um, no, but that's exactly my point. Though this exact situation, if something is really famous, like for example Frankenstein, is discussing common knowledge a spoiler, or to put it another way, everyone thinks of Frankenstein's monster as the green creature with bolts in his neck because that's the popular image, right?
Yaha.
Yes, spoiler alert, his name is Adam.
No, spoiler alert, he has no name.
I have no name and I must scream.
No, literally, in the book, I've read the book thoroughly. I've written papers on the book. The creature is never once given a name. Adam was given by fans in discussions. Go back and actually read, and this is a good example. would that detail be considered a spoiler that the creature has no technical name? I literally found this out the hard way when I was writing a paper on it, and I spoke to my professor about it, who was literally teaching a course on the book, and even she's like, "Crap, you're right. We should." So we had to agree what I should call
I'm gonna
the
say
creature in
that
the book
is
in my paper.
I'm gonna say that is not a spoiler because that's just a detail of the book that can be openly discussed without giving away any real details to the story.
Okay.
I would say like the absence of knowledge is not really a spoiler. Or
Okay.
the absence of a fact is not really a spoiler.
Or to give another example of Frankenstein, is if I were to, this might count as spoilers because, well, you're listening to this podcast, so I think
Spoiler
we just have,
warning.
I think we just have a global warning for the discussion of of spoilers as we discuss spoilers.
No,
Actually,
we
yeah,
gotta keep the bit going. Spoiler warning
yeah,
every second.
fair enough.
I need to up the brightness on my.
For example, another. This is a semi-obscure. Unless you've read the book, you don't catch this. I don't know how often it's shown though. And Edge of Space. God damn it.
Don't worry, gather your thoughts. We have time. I can edit.
I don't want to run off the clock though. Oh, you paused it. Thank you.
Oh no, I didn't pause it. I don't think so.
Oh no, wait, no, we established. Unless you're on that window, I can't see the clock.
Yeah, fuck, every time.
I think that does. I think that actually does come up at least once every session. Actually, right? Shoot. Anyway, all right. So, or another example. Let's go back further. If there's no time limit, if we, for example, talk about Somnium, which was the which for those in the audience who don't know, Johannes Kepler, yes, that Kepler who discovered all the astronomy stuff, wrote a science fiction story at one point when he was bored.
You probably got a lot of bitches out of that.
In the 16 and this is he wrote this in the 1600s, by the way. And would discussing anything about Somnium be considered spoilers?
Well, I haven't read it or heard of it before, so yes.
I
Uh,
would say it's like really depends on A, if the person wants to watch, read, or experience that, and B, it's like, how bad or like what kind of information is it?
hashtag we're not sponsored by Somnium. But
Maybe you
as
aren't.
it's a story from the 1600s. It's long in the public domain. Although for a book in the public domain of that age, it's the translations that go in and out of the public domain. Oh, if TV, if you want to look it up on your own, Somnium is how you
Somnium.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, there was a movie and a PC game.
Was that really? Oh, that one I hadn't heard about. Yeah, so make sure it's a story by Kepler. Or I'll take the age I'll take the age thing further. I have one more example using science fiction.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah, believe it. It's called A True Story, and it was written by Lucian. It is the oldest science fiction story that there is. It was literally written in the 1 to 200s AD. Yes, science fiction is 1900 plus years old. That's a mind blow, right?
I mean,
um,
oh wait, no, Mary Shelley was the person who invented sci-fi horror, not science fiction in its entirety. My bad.
and that's actually that's a debate you can have. Is that people have argued that Mary Shelley created science fiction, unfortunately, and Frankenstein's one of my favorite books.
I would
But
say she
genuinely,
created modern science fiction.
I'll give you that. Yeah, yeah. Because again, with the examples of Somnium and A True Story really moving the goalpost back over 1,000 plus years. Literally look it up. A True Story by Lucian. Lucian. That was also spontaneously the first example of science fiction, by the way, as satire. But yeah, Lucian, A True Story. No. Lucian. That's it.
Lucy
Cian. Sorry.
Lupus. I'm sorry, I'm typing too fast
No.
and clicking
Anyways,
shit.
anyway.
Whatever.
Anyway, so
Get
yeah,
back to your thing. I'm sorry.
would any discussion of A True Story count as spoilers? Is that the time
If
limit?
if the
If there is one.
person actively wants to watch or experience it and they have not already.
Okay, well, if we go by intention as the defining characteristics of spoiler, then that becomes, to me, a problem. Not because I disagree or anything, I actually don't disagree. I think that actually might be a good answer. The problem with that is you and me, for example, I don't know if y'all care, hashtag I don't know if y'all care about spoilers about A True Story, but us discussing, if let's say I find two random people who don't care about spoilers for A True Story, but then somebody who does care about spoilers happens over here. That's the problem then. Spoiler becomes not an objective term, but a very subjective one in that situation. That might not be a bad thing, mind you, but
That might just be the risk of going into public spaces then,
yeah, maybe.
media-wise.
And I mean, if you talk about something in public and you're trying to like, not like yell it across the room.
Yeah, and trying to be DL about it.
Yeah, then it doesn't really matter. And if someone else gets offended by you talking to someone like 10, 15 feet away and they happen to hear a word or two,
Like,
then
of
that's on them.
I just
Yeah,
the
exactly.
reason I bring up age as a factor is only because of one reason. It's like
Fascism.
that random person. Dude, don't spoil a true story.
What?
Like,
For real?
it is 1900 plus years old. It just feels like there should be an extreme end of it, you know. For example, talking about, let's say, Gilgamesh is another example, or even, yeah, is talking about the Epic of Gilgamesh. So I guess, you feel there's no limit on, it's not about the age of the story, it's about experience, right?
Yes,
Um,
experience and intention.
I would potentially agree with you, but I would argue that there maybe should be a hyper extreme end of things where age just eventually does be factor in. Like discussing the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is like maybe 2600 plus years old. Should I mention that fun fact I mentioned what we were before session, do you think? I still think that's funny. Yeah, you know what, screw it, I'm going for
You
it.
go for it.
Um,
Smoke that doober.
this was meant. Somebody memed this a while ago, and it's hilarious. The Epic of Gilgamesh. The tablets were some of the tablets were damaged slash in bad shape when we found them, but they reconstructed one of the tablets, which means and they had like 22, 23 lines and a small new anecdote, which means freaking Gilgamesh had an update before Game of Thrones. Sorry,
Hilarious.
sorry, George R. R. Martin. We love you, but
Honestly, I
who
think.
saw the?
Sorry, go for it.
No, you
I
first.
thought you were done. Honestly, I think George R. R. Martin is just done with Game of Thrones. It got too popular for his own tastes, and he just doesn't want to do it anymore.
Well, the gesture to that is that he has written and continued to write prologue stories. But yeah, who saw that coming? That freaking Gilgamesh of all things would get more content before we got the next Game of Thrones book.
Fucking
Eh,
everybody in the fandom.
anyway, or this may be controversial. Are there individual books that might consider themselves exceptions to the spoiler rule? For example, if we don't want to discuss this, TV edit this out. The Bible. Now, preachers and everyone else, they quote the Bible all the time. So is quoting a random section of the Bible? I guess it's also, what Des said though. Spoilers for the layman versus spoilers for somebody who's actually reading it. So someone in seminary school, yeah, that's spoilers for the Bible. But for the average person, I guess it wouldn't be. Would that be accurate? I guess.
Well, also, when preachers have sermons, typically people go there to hear it. And if they didn't want that, they could just, go somewhere else.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is very true. This is very true. So it's almost like for certain books, very few books, spoilers might be still spoilers, but welcome spoilers based on their context. Yeah, which I guess.
Well, also,
Um,
the Bible is hundreds of pages of long, and it has multiple stories.
that's another good reason to compare it to Gilgamesh, because Gilgamesh is in that territory too. I think. Yeah.
I'd say it
Um.
is. It being the oldest story on the planet, you know.
No. I just meant in terms of page count. Gilgamesh is hard
Oh,
to have a page count for. Gilgamesh is hard to have a page count because you're translating freaking Sanskrit,
I
which
guess
is,
Sanskrit, the original coding language.
probably older languages. Actually, wait. Well, I mean, there is that song. No, that one dynasty in China that used to read the cracks in the bones when they were burned as fortune telling. That was arguably a language.
I'm not gonna
Um,
argue about that.
Anyway, but no, and I'm not trying to argue either. But yeah, no. So that is, so yeah. Well, if you're talking about, so does that mean anthology series, which is effectively what Gilgamesh and the Bible technically would be? Does that mean anthology series are treated differently for spoilers? In which case, for example, Star Trek: The Next Generation is arguably a Monster of the Week series when you get right down to it. So you would, or I guess, is there different severities of spoilers? Like if I describe one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, that's one spoiler, but it doesn't spoil the entire series, arguably, right?
Exactly. It really
Um,
just depends on which episode, though. It's like, I supposedly three out of four people who knew the ending of the movie would not watch it,
oh, interesting. I didn't hear about
which would
that.
probably also translate to, like, episodes or whatever. That being said, if it's like the beginning or the middle, that's far less severe, and people would probably still watch it.
And I do think there are also spoilers that are not technically spoilers. Like, for example, think about the Star Trek, for example. Hey, the Enterprise features in this episode.
Say that's like a jokey spoiler.
Hey, this episode has a Vulcan in it.
Hey, this episode, Worf gets beaten up. I don't know
A
a lot about
spoiler,
Star
they're
Trek.
flying. Sorry, spoiler, they're flying through space.
Spoiler, there's technology.
And then there's also spoilers. Guinan is in this episode. That actually, see, here's the thing. Guinan's actually not in that many episodes, so that actually runs the risk of medium, of potential spoilers.
I say that's like
From
run-of-the-mill spoilers, like just passively existing will probably get you that
yeah,
spoiler.
and that's character spoilers. The character's very presence. And there's people who have argued that knowing that Sean Bean is cast in a movie because he always dies. There's some people argue that knowing Sean Bean is cast constitutes a spoiler.
If Sean Bean dies, it's just another cliche, but if he lives, it's a masterful twist.
There, what do you think, Des? Is the knowledge that Sean Bean is in a movie technically a spoiler?
It might qualify as a cognito
Yeah.
hazard.
A little bit, I guess. I mean, if he's playing a very, very specific role all the freaking time,
No,
then
no,
you know exactly what role he's going to that person is going to play.
no, Michael. No, the sentence is: if you don't know anything about his character, you just know that Sean Bean is acting in this movie. Is that a spoiler?
I would
Oh,
say no, unless you know what kind of acting they do.
I'll say one sentence more, and then we'll go to the next person. You know what's funny? The first National Treasure movie where he's the villain, he actually lives.
you know
So
what? That
hashtag
is
spoiler
very
for
funny.
Sean Bean. That was a very very exact special case though, because he's always going to die. People are actively looking for him to die. So you could argue saying Sean Bean dies is not a spoiler, but saying he lives becomes the spoiler.
You know what? Just maybe.
Like if you watch Cinema Sins, they sin every scene where he's not dying.
CinemaSins does not qualify as anything. That's
Anyway,
my
all right.
piece. Anyway, let's see who's next. Whose head will I receive? So dear. Des,
Easy.
I will put a fez on your head.
Fezzes are cool.
That's a spoiler.
Yes, that is.
Is it technically?
Yes.
I would say technically, if you don't know what series the person is talking about, then no. If it's like very, very, if it's a incredibly vague reference.
Hashtag second Doctor Who reference this episode.
Second one, what was the first?
I referenced River Song in my part.
No, that was before we started recording. I'm like
Oh,
90% sure.
all right. Des, go ahead. You have the floor. Yes.
Yes, my apologies.
Okay. Let's see. Supposedly 3/4. No, I already said that. Damn it.
You can say it again. Just give more
No, since
exposition.
I've already said that.
No, if you're using that as a lead-in for your discussion, go ahead.
Yeah.
What would be the worst spoiler anyone's ever heard?
Spoiler alert,
Worst.
the sun explodes.
It really it's so subjective as a question.
I'm
I
gonna
mean, I guess
say that the worst possible spoiler for a person to hear on an individual level is like that one specific book, movie series, or TV show you really, really like and you can't shut the fuck up about it to the point everybody fucking hates you for it. Somebody just goes and tells you like the series finale spoiler.
I would argue to getting philosophical for one moment. The worst possible spoiler would be knowledge of your own personal future.
That is a bit philosophical for spoiler talk, but I get it. But to expand on that, I think knowing your own death would be the worst version of that.
Although it also depends on if you're in a universe where knowing your death means you're locked into it, or knowing your death means you can try to avoid it.
Determinism versus free will.
Versus the I'm showing my age, but the show Lost had an interesting interpretation of that, where yeah,
Lost
you
is
can avoid
not that old. I'm
you
sick
can
of
avoid
people
your death.
saying Lost is
Yeah,
old.
Lost featured yeah, you can avoid death, but it just means that something else will try to happen.
Well, I mean, the thing is, everyone's going to die anyway, and I feel like if I like knew like the dates and what was gonna happen already, then that would just give me like time to do. It's like effectively, if you already know, if it's locked into place and you already know that you're going to die at such and such date of time, that effectively means that you're immune until that date and time.
Honestly, I'd just try and take the expressway out of pettiness. Fist fight God, so to say.
But yeah, in terms of but that's the philosophical answer to your question that I would give. In terms of in terms of the more concrete answer, in terms of like yeah, it would really depend on the person. Like if someone loves Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Saying that a certain character dies in like the last episode would be a deadly spoiler. That would piss someone off for months, if not years.
Spoiler alert,
Um,
Buffy dies like 3 times. I'm pretty sure. I've never seen the show.
yeah, so that's why. Yeah, so the worst spoiler would wind up being. But there's also sarcastic spoilers, like, oh no, Sam and Dean Winchester both died on Supernatural.
Yeah, but if like nobody knows about that being a trope in the show, that still counts as a spoiler.
That's true. Yeah.
Like
Although
spoilers are surprise. No, I'll save it for my thing.
yeah, thoughts, yeah. So keep going, Des, yeah.
Yeah, thoughts does
Nope. My Miss Smooth's brain.
like a
It's your
cabbage.
it's your section, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just introverted. I'm terrible at talking for long extended periods.
It's weird. I'm that way too, of course, but I just get paid to talk. That's why it's helped me get over it.
I just like talking.
That
It's
being
the
said, like, even though like most people do not like spoilers, I feel like some people do enjoy micro spoilers.
Oh yeah, and sometimes if someone's like really not enjoying something, sometimes a small spoiler can help actually keep them interested.
Hmm.
But that depends on that's so context sensitive. Like if someone's watching, no, let me pick something that wouldn't be too crazy. Now I'm drawing a blank. Shoot, um,
Jesus gets crucified.
that's so well known. I don't think that's a spoiler at this point. Oh yeah, that's another discussion topic we could only if Des wants to, because it's her time. Is actual historical facts, are actual historical facts immune from spoilers?
Okay, let's not get into the if the
I
Bible
would
is
say yes, they are
historical.
immune.
Defend it. Go ahead.
Because that is something that happened IRL. And unless you lived like in a potato farm out in Iowa or Idaho or whatever, I'm sorry, but you'll probably have like a basic, like elementary, middle, high school history knowledge.
So here's a question that is literally a direct response to that. The Diary of Anne Frank. If somebody did not know how it ends because they didn't know their history, would telling them the ending count as a spoiler even though it is historical fact?
That's a fucked up question, but the answer is yes. That's all I have to say.
I've literally seen a movie once where the ending of Anne Frank was spoiled and someone was pissed off about it. So that's why I'm actually bringing it up. Yeah.
It's still a fucked up question, is all I'm saying, man.
Des, thoughts or do
Uh,
biographies go into different animals at that point?
I mean, I'd say, biographies are different animals because it's, general overview of history versus like this person living wherever, living their life that you would not, if it's something you would not normally run into, then you want to treat it.
With a little bit of tact.
That just becomes such a problem child, though. Like for
That being
example,
said,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's your topic. Go ahead.
I just was going to say, if you know the ending as you watch it, you can kind of understand what the filmmaker is doing, and you can get the broader view.
That's true. I feel like that applies to The Hobbit, if you know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
I think it also really depends on, like, really, really depends on the nature of the story. Like, if you're watching a detective movie, like anything based off of, for example, Agatha Christie, although a couple of them have seriously famous endings, but ignoring that. If you're watching something based off of Agatha Christie, even knowing who did it at that point, it's more, because you're watching it. Oh, no. Best example of that. Columbo. Do y'all know,
Columbo.
do y'all know Columbo?
Yes, we know who Columbo is.
Hmm.
He's a
Alright.
Tumblr sexy man.
Columbo. Every episode of Columbo starts because of the nature of Columbo. The audience knows the murderer, so the story is Columbo figuring it out. Although I think Columbo presents some interesting spoiler cases discussion points, right?
We should do a watch along for Columbo.
There's 69 episodes,
Nice.
movies, but yeah. So Des, how would you think? Yeah, Columbo features into the spoiler conversation because of the fact that every single episode technically starts with the ending and is all about the middle, basically.
Well, I mean, if you're spoiling your own thing, like if it starts with the ending, I would say it's like that's kind of, you can still technically, the ending does not constitute the whole episode.
I can agree with that.
And I guess that's an example of where the source medium itself, like if you're reading a book that constantly flashes between the epilogue and the story, then the ending itself is not a spoiler because the book itself has spoiled it.
I feel like that's a creative writing discussion rather than a spoiler discussion. They're kind of in the same ballpark.
What I will also say is no one ever watches a romantic comedy wondering if the couple will ever be happy together. You know exactly how that's ending.
I want to see
And people still watch it.
I want to see a rom-com where the two of them just straight up just break up near the ending because they realize they don't like each other that much, and rather it's the dopamine that they get from just doing whatever the fuck they want.
With the knowledge that there is sometimes a weird line between hate and love, there's a reason Aphrodite used to be paired is often paired with Ares. Love and war, that whole thing.
Love, war, potato salad, it's all the same.
By the way, that's a fun fact about history, though, is that the Spartans loved Aphrodite, so they saw her as a war goddess. But the Spartans saw everything as a war goddess. As a war goddess. Spoilers for ancient Sparta, I guess.
Technically, it would be a war deity if you're referring to both gods and goddesses.
Yeah.
I'm a prick, I know.
No, you're not. Anyway.
No.
Crap, I just lost my train of thought completely now. Where was I starting with that?
You were talking about potato salad.
No, I was not.
Yes, you were.
Des, what was I talking about?
Aphrodite.
Spoilers, I lost my train of thought.
Good boy.
No worries.
Jesus will
But yeah,
forgive you.
but will you forgive me for referencing that manga where Jesus and Buddha are roommates in Japan?
Yes, he died for our skins.
The foreskins? Oh, we are getting so canceled from this discussion.
No, come on. I literally just got to 6 subscribers. Don't do this to me. I'm already famous.
But yeah, history is I think, yeah, an interesting area for spoilers because it also really might depend on it really might depend. It just depends on, yeah. If we're saying history is exempt, is largely exempt, but with certain biographies maybe not. I guess it also depends though on if someone wants to experience history totally blind. Like, does somebody, like, you could have person A who wants to read the entire history of Spartacus without knowing a damn thing, and telling them whether the rebellion succeeds or fails would be a spoiler. Versus you have other people who don't see it that way. I guess maybe that's the answer. Maybe.
Also, I thought you said Sporticus for a second and was like, okay.
No, Spartacus.
Yeah, Spartacus.
No, that's like a different universe.
I don't know what's. Is it was it like that one time a spork turned into a dragon?
Well, my first thought was like spore as in like fungus or mold.
Oh, okay. Reborn as a spork, I now wander the buffet.
Oh,
Gee. I mean, there's that anime. There's that anime, Reborn as a Vending Machine. Now I wander the dungeon. So
that is such a dumb premise.
it's semi good actually.
Semi-good
But
is
yeah,
just first-rate bad.
hashtag not sponsored by that long title of an anime.
Hashtag says you. We're not. We're not famous enough to get a sponsor.
I have watched it and it's kind of a middle of the lane isekai.
Yeah, subscribe or we'll never get a sponsorship by got reborn as a vending machine and now I wander the dungeon. Subscribe or you'll never see us read it.
Subscriber, you'll never see fan art of us as vending machines.
Do it. You know you want to.
The ancient Egyptians. Anyway, all right. So let's get back to the topic.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So Des. All right. So yeah, it's Des. It's still your turn to lead. So
Sorry.
maybe this wasn't a good. Maybe this wasn't easy. Maybe this wasn't something that could hold all of our interest for the entire. I have this.
Let me look here.
If you're
Fascism.
stuck, I can think of an area. If you're stuck, I can think of an area we haven't discussed yet.
Free Palestine.
I'm just doing research as I. Let's see.
See, the nature of spoilers. Spoiler. Which no, I can't even bullcrap that.
Spoiler. He's a supervillain. He spoils movies and then kills all the people there so they can't spread more spoilers.
There is the name of a DC hero actually. Real talk. Spoiler.
Oh yeah, one of the Bat fam, correct? She's the daughter
Oh,
of King Master.
Oh, go ahead.
in 2011, a group of researchers from the University of California published a study that overturned everything we knew about spoilers. They discovered that knowing the ending of a story doesn't reduce pleasure of reading it. It actually sometimes increases. People who received a spoiler before reading a story reported a more satisfying reading experience, richer, deeper, more fulfilling. Why? One reason is a concept in psychology known as processing fluency. In essence, what we already know when we already know what's going to happen, our brain works less to decode the narrative.
And let's just focus more on enjoyment of it. That makes sense.
It does.
Okay. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah.
And I got that blip from nssgclub.com.
You don't give out free advertising. We're not sponsored. No, I'm joking.
No,
I
it's
don't
just
know,
joking.
but I can't
I'm joking.
I can't
No.
can't take credit for other people's work.
No, and that's important to cite your sources. Always cite your sources, y'all. Spoilers, you will get punished by the academic community without citation.
One dude got a brick thrown at his head because he didn't cite his sources.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
A little bit of both.
Little bit. Anyway,
Also, I'm not like an asshole, and AI already steals credit for people's articles.
and there's also arguably thematic spoilers, like video games. Hey, I'm gonna spoil every Mario game. Princess Peach gets rescued.
I'm gonna spoil every Luigi game. Mario gets rescued.
I don't think Mario's in all the Luigi games, but okay.
I'm pretty sure he is. Like a decent
I
chunk
don't.
of them.
Alright, well, TV, it's up to you now.
Really? Oh, wait, no.
Yeah,
Hold on. We gotta spin the wheel.
but you're the only one on it.
I get executed next. Yay!
You know what's funny? The Diary of Franz Schmidt is an interesting historical document.
Wanna know what's funny? I ate a sandwich. That's what's funny.
Spoilers for what TV ate earlier today.
Turns out that's like the reveal to a 16-year-long arc.
The
Yeah, anyway. So, my topic I've chosen for the theme of today is pop culture spoilers. Perfect example of this is Darth Vader is, spoiler, Luke Skywalker's father. How would the average person really avoid such a prevalent spoiler on like every single website, forum, or social media they go on to, even side media? Because like once something becomes pop culture, like really, really big pop culture, like Star Wars, it's kind of hard to avoid spoilers.
This is true. Are you actually asking like what we think about that, or
Yeah, I'm just making a statement and seeing what.
Dad's thoughts?
That totally flew over my head.
Okay, basically, when a really, really popular spoiler is just permanently part of the news sphere.
Zeitgeist, I guess that's what you think.
Oh, I was just using another word for zeitgeist, I guess.
Fair enough. Sorry.
Whatever.
Continue.
Do you think that's a valid thing to be angry about, basically? If a very
I would
popular
say
spoiler
it counts as a spoiler, but you can't really be angry about it. Is it's just life, and you get pissed if you get pissed off of everything, you're gonna be in a pissy fit.
piss fit. Zapper, thoughts?
I think I brought up something that earlier is going to settle my argument with this. I brought up Citizen Kane. It's also a really famous spoiler. The end plot twist, as famous as that movie is. So to me, it is still a spoiler, but it's a spoiler that society puts on itself. Like because something's so famous, finding that one person like that friend you mentioned with the corn. Sorry, hiccup. Sorry. Would be hard. So it's like the spoiler that everybody knows. So yeah, I guess that's my point. Yeah, but the spoiler that everybody knows still a spoiler, but because everybody had spoiled. It's the spoiler that is just there for everyone. But it's a factor of popularity in this case. Yeah, like that being spoiled, like Luke Skywalker being Darth Vader's son. Okay, that's one level.
Alright, well, it appears I'm alone now, so.
I hear you.
Oh, okay. It's just everything went silent after Zapper's speech. Damn, 15 minutes. I gotta fill 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's easier when you have more people because there's more conjecture.
Yeah, I agree. Want to hear a story about how I kinda spoiled myself?
Sure.
Uh, Quick side note, I do not support J.K. Rowling or her beliefs. She is a terrible person. Way back when I was a little tyke,
How much of what I
small,
just said did y'all hear? How
none
much of
of
what I
it.
just said did y'all hear?
I heard
Damn it!
everything up to a certain point. I can't
Damn it!
name that certain point, but
What
but
was
you
I?
had gone quiet for a decent amount.
I was talking. I didn't realize I was. Oh jeez. So my Discord crashed, so I'm on my phone now, which is more stable. All right, so basically, it's a societally accepted spoiler, but it's still a spoiler. But it also depends on the nature of the popularity of the thing. Like spoiling Darth Vader as Luke's father is one thing, or spoiling and Last Chance Rosebud as the sleigh that Citizen Kane had. Those are both very famous movies. If I were to spoil the movie K-Pax, Des TV, you ever heard of that? The movie K-Pax? Des?
Nope.
Can you please put the timer back up so we can see it? You constantly put it in a separate window, then you can do whatever you want, dude. Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah,
K-Pax.
Windows. Wait, no, that'll just record the window I'm on.
Anyway, but
Oh
there's a
wait,
way. All
never
right,
mind.
I'll help you next session. Yeah, before next session. But yeah, K-Pax is not a well-known movie. So if I were to talk about the ending of K-Pax, that would be a spoiler because the average person probably hasn't seen it. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So in this case, for pop culture spoilers, the answer to me is how popular are we talking about? And also that will wind up with situational exceptions. Like some movies are popular here in America that are not popular in New Zealand or something, and vice versa.
That makes me think of something. If you're willing to be really quick about the discussion, is telling someone spoilers in episode 1 count as a real spoiler?
Are episode 1 spoilers actual spoilers? That's a good question.
Yep.
Des, thoughts?
They're just like mini spoilers.
Episode 1 specifically winds up in a discrete situation, so I would agree with Des on that one. Yeah, that episode 1, especially of a really long series, that's where I would argue if someone's struggling to get through episode 1, giving them a couple minor spoilers, but episode 1 or even the early episodes might help get them going. Yeah,
I'm gonna say episode 1 spoilers are not spoilers in any way.
with the
But
exception with one exception though, if something is brand freaking new, so that episode 1 is like all we have almost.
I feel like that's a separate argument. If I'm to be honest, I feel like that's a separate argument.
But that brings in the whole time factor. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Des. Sorry.
I was just gonna say it's like falls into the same category as new movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, totes. Totes
Which I guess.
bespokes.
Go ahead. Which I guess then depends on how long does the spoiler privilege last for that. And again, we're not talking about like major endings and stuff. We're talking about just like the opening, say, 20 minutes of a movie.
I say a week or maybe 2 weeks. Like if we're taking account into like just the opening, I say like a week, but a full month for like the entire movie.
Say just. Although, if we count that, I would consider that we run the risk of the premise of something being considered a spoiler. And I do think we need some leeway for the premise. Like, I need to be able to, like, for example, if someone asks me, okay, well, tell me, like, I don't spoil it, but tell me about K-Pax. I have to be able to tell you something without being considered a spoiler, right?
True.
I would say describing the plot does not count as a spoiler.
Yeah, no, the elevator pitch doesn't count as a spoiler or the
As long as
synopsis.
it doesn't like wreck the ending and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although another fun aspect of that, technically, Game of Thrones is a good example of this too. Set the clocks back to before Game of Thrones came out. The first 4 or 5 books were out already, but the series has not been made yet. But then the series is announced. Spoilers for the end of Game of Thrones season 1 / Game of Thrones volume 1. Ned Stark dies. Would talking about Ned Stark's death before season 1 has finished, but it's in the books, and the books have been out for years, would that count as a spoiler for people who have not read the books but have seen the show?
Yes, because not everyone reads books.
Yes. Because not everybody's a nerd. I'm sorry, that was a really aggressive voice.
No, that's fine. Just Homer Simpson there for a second. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm tired of reminding you. Get back to the countdown.
I'm sorry, I have fidgety hands, and I'm no longer drawing right now, so.
Anyway, yeah.
Alright, yeah. To fill at least a couple more minutes of my time. Do you want to hear the story of how I kind of spoiled myself?
For
Sure.
what? Spoiled yourself for what though?
Christ, sorry, I had to stretch. Okay, back when I was a little tyke, when I was a bastard baby man who was 3 feet tall and snorted
Yeah,
cocaine,
so
I
yesterday.
was reading very funny. I was reading the entirety of the Harry Potter series while along with watching the movies. And when I was on the Half-Blood Prince, I'm pretty sure. Spoilers for a terrible book. I watched the movie before finishing the book, and I found out that Snape kills Dumbledore before getting to that part in the book, and it absolutely sucked. Well, it didn't suck, but like, it was a lot like this.
We can't see what you're showing.
Fuck! Damn it.
Although that reminds me of I get your reference that there was actually a campaign by Anonymous to spoil Half Blood Prince actually, or that might have been Deathly Hallows, where they would actively use like a megaphone to scream spoilers at people waiting in line to buy the books.
Honestly, they were right. They saw the writing on the wall before we did. Again, I don't support J.K. Rowling. She's a terrible person.
Although this was before she was terrible, she wasn't. Unless you want to
No,
retroactively argue, she always was. Which
I'm not. She just peeled away her face skin, so to say. She peeled away her face.
I don't want to go into this. I think it's too controversial for me to have an opinion on this one. um,
Whatever. Anyway, do you see the comic page with Deadpool? The Hufflepuff Deadpool?
I'm on my phone, so I can't really see it too
Oh,
big.
okay. Oh, you can just tap on the thing and it'll
Oh,
make it bigger.
it doesn't make it that much bigger.
Damn it, do I need to...
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry.
Ah, that's way too big.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was basically like that when I spoiled myself by watching the movie before finishing the book.
I mean, I guess I would argue. Why did you stop the stream so I can't see the time anymore?
Fuck. I thought we were...
Your timer didn't go off. But okay, unless you anyway, whatever.
Whatever.
Although I guess
Stop smoking.
spoiler precedence becomes if, for example, you value the book more than the movie, then yeah, the movie does spoil the book. However, inversely, if somebody valued the movie more than the books, they might not give a shit about the book. But and that is some perspective, yeah.
That is actually very interesting.
Like yeah, if and that gets into that's why that's a good example of how it really depends on if somebody says, look, I understand Game of Thrones has source material. I don't care about the books. I only care about the show. That hurts me to say that. As an example,
I don't care about Game of Thrones at all.
let's go with Frankenstein. Frankenstein's always
Same.
the same. Frankenstein's the yeah. I mean,
Frankenstein.
yeah. I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I don't. I just know that yeah.
It's
Although I do
crazy
know anyway.
popular, or was crazy popular.
Although it's got the House of the Dragon prequel series going. Anyway, but
Yeah, I guess.
Frankenstein though, talking about the book Frankenstein, there's so much that doesn't get adapted. For example, here's a good example. If I were to tell you the creature is actually very literate and extremely intelligent, someone says, "Well, no, he's not in the movies." I'm like, in the movie, yeah, the movies don't accurately adapt the single book. Believe it or not, that is actually a fact. In the book, Frankenstein's monster is actually very smart.
Feel like
Also,
this falls under transformative artwork.
also his first language is French, but yeah.
The French ruined Frankenstein.
No, legit. The
Uh,
Frankenstein's monster hides in the bushes near a family cottage, and they hear a woman getting tutored in French,
Okay,
and
I've
that's
read the
how.
book too. I know.
Oh, okay, then yeah,
I just
that
don't
is
have
literally
like a
why though.
physical copy. I've been to school though.
Yeah, that is why though. Yeah. Des, have you ever actually read Frankenstein?
I've read like bits.
I do recommend it. It's actually good. Yeah, but the creature's first language is actually French. Yeah, real talk. So I wonder if there's ever been a movie where Frankenstein's monster had a French accent.
It'd be very funny, because like
It would be a nice.
French
It
accents
would.
have been commodified in the Western culture of America.
It would be a nice reference though. Yeah.
True, it would be. You know what? I'd write Frankenstein with a French accent
Things like
in like a movie.
people have like stupefied Frankenstein so much that it would be good just to have him in a show where he's like actually physically intelligent.
Bro, what
Also, and
if
this is
you had a show that was like if Frankenstein was Hannibal Lecter level intelligent.
Okay, are we talking about the scientist or the monster?
Oh, the monster. I'm sorry.
No,
It's all the
It's no.
time. It's
Again,
Frankenstein refers to the
hashtag
monster.
the monster has no name, so it's a problem.
Okay, but like
But
everybody understands that like Frankenstein can sometimes refer to the monster too,
yeah,
correct?
I mean, technically, Victor made the monster, so that the creature's never given a name, but his last name should be Frankenstein. Yeah,
Um, he does refer to himself as the atom of your labors to his creator.
Yeah, but that's just a metaphor.
Yeah, actually, no, real talk. Yeah, I don't disagree with both of you on this one, actually. But the problem is, literally, no one calls him that at all, ever. Not one person ever calls him Adam in the book. Yeah. Oh, here is a fun spoiler, though, and this is actually why legit. I kind of wish Mary Shelley had written sequels. The monster is not dead at the end of the book. Victor is, and that is a spoiler, of course. But the monster is still. We last see the monster jumping into a frozen waterfall in the Arctic, but he survived worse, to our knowledge, so likely he's still alive.
Didn't he literally say he was gonna take the expressway out so nobody figures out how to make more of him?
Yeah, he said he was just going to wait in the Arctic, but the problem is we don't know. For all we know, he could be immortal. Yeah.
Honestly, Victor Frankenstein should have just gave the monster his bride and then told them to fuck off or get a marriage
Is that
counselor.
is that how? Oh, all right. So we finished. All right. So that was a good little.
Yeah,
So thank you
that's
for
the
the
time
coming
for
to the
step.
Irrelevant Show. Thank you for coming to the Irrelevant Show and the talk about spoilers. Hope you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, thank you for coming to the Irrelevant Show. This should be up by Monday. So like,
Yeah.
sorry if
That
like
was
the world ends before that.
that was actually a nice chat though. Real talk. I enjoyed this
I
episode.
liked
Yeah.
the chat.
Yeah.
I
What do you
think,
think, guys, about as a topic? Spoilers, I think, was a decent idea, right?
I would say like the chat was nice, but the topic is like a little bit stiff.
Yeah, honestly, maybe it wasn't
yeah,
too.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well, like I
like,
said, that was just.
it is a
Yeah.
theme, so like we do kind of have to
Yeah. Well,
like
I came
just
up with
keep
this one,
things consistent.
so one of you two comes up with the next theme for December.
Yeah.
Because it's like if we had like the full group here talking about
Oh, just
just
spoilers.
spoilers.
Legit, if we had two more people here and we were going for like another 40 minutes, that would have been hard. Yeah.
True, but also like we could have done like, oh, what's your absolute favorite spoiler to tell people for a show you like? Or what's a spoiler you accidentally told to someone and they never talk to you again? Like there's a lot of stuff to deal with spoilers.
I've never had a friendship end because of spoilers.
Have
Well,
you ever?
15% of people supposedly have.
What?
Yes.
15% of people have ended friendships over spoilers.
Yes, according to an article I read.
That's
That's just a
fucking nut.
15 out of 100 people have ended a friendship because of a spoiler. Okay,
That's just
Apparently.
fucking.
but I'm surprised.
Anyway, I'm gonna
That's
make a thing that says spoiler warning for the entire.
that's 3 in 20 people. Yeah, please do. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, thank you for spending your time irrelevantly.
Yeah,
it
thanks
wasn't
for
relevant.
being irrelevant with us. It's been fun, guys. See you next month, hopefully.
Yep.
Sorry we missed
Yep.
October, I believe.
Yeah, we all had. It was insane. October.
Yeah.
Although, happy belated Halloween. Yeah,
Yeah,
and Merry
happy
Christmas and
Halloween.
stuff. Well, happy Thanksgiving coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. Don't smoke on Hanukkah.
I mean,
Eat your
if we're gonna do December, we're gonna have more time to. Right. Yeah. Are we
Yeah.
still recording?
Yeah, I'm stopping the recording now. I'm stopping the recording.